WarsawJS.
Hi, so I'm Zachary Milonas, and it's nice to meet you. I'm a senior software engineer. My talk is about ESM and CJS, a history of imports and requires. And I've been importing and requiring stuff for like a better part of 6 years, or even 10 years, and since the jQuery times, pretty much. So I think the landscape of our module system is pretty much this XKCD comic, which is like we have 14 competing standards. Oh no, we need a new one. So now we have 15 competing standards. And it actually all started out in the browser times. So in the browser times, the browsers thought that we need to have a way to actually import JavaScript somehow into the browser. And they used the script src tag for that. And it's OK. It's kind of like modules, but you still only get some kind of compartmentalization, code splitting, pretty much, of code. But you don't really get like pointing out which code depends on what. And you don't really get kind of asynchronicity, because you have to position your script src tags in a specific order so they actually load properly. So this was not like the best idea. But then we kind of go to 2009. And in 2009, it was a time when Minecraft was around, and it was still playable in the browser. And also Satoshi Nakamoto mined their first Bitcoin. So good times. And in 2009, actually, an engineer from Mozilla came up with this whole concept of System.js. Maybe you haven't heard of his System.js, but you probably have used it because it was later rebranded as CommonJS. And this is very much a thing up until now. So it gives us like this simple way of requiring. You have code splitting. You can clearly show dependencies. You have a local scope or a global, or yeah, a local scope to each file pretty much. And it's pretty fine, but we're lacking this thing of asynchronicity, and the code is still hanging on every call to the dependency. So every require is actually going synchronously in the code. So there was a thought like, OK, so we have the standards. Now the browser standard, the CommonJS standard. What if we have a standard that is actually asynchronous? And that's how AMD came to life. So not the processor company, but actually asynchronous module definition. And this was exemplified by RequireJS. And the AMD was a specification, RequireJS is an implementation. And it pretty much looked like that. Maybe you have seen that if you worked in the jQuery times. But it's pretty fine. We have code splitting, we have local scope, we have actually asynchronous code. But we don't have the compatibility with CommonJS. So what can we do about that? So after like the jQuery times, pretty much, somebody thought like, OK, so we now have AMD, we have CommonJS, we have the browser way. So what if we have another standard that will actually combine CommonJS and AMD and make it into UMD, Universal Module Definition? Maybe you heard about UMD. But it was not really that popular, and it actually, questions at the end, sorry. Actually, it relies on this kind of glue code that happens at the beginning, and it was just detecting, OK, if I'm in AMD environment, I'm going to do AMD. If I'm in CommonJS environment, I'm going to do CommonJS. Browsers, same thing. So is this the final standard? Are we using this right now? Maybe some of us are, but actually, we are still using different stuff for that. So we have code splitting, we have local scope, we have actually compatibility with a lot of things. We have asynchronous code as well in this system. But what about if we have like another standard? And with this standard, we have like a standards committee that does standards, and they do like a standard way that is a standard part of the language. So we have a committee, it's TC39, and TC39 actually helped pave the way with an ECMA standard, which was ECMAScript 2015 language specification, sometimes referred to as ES6 because it's the 6th edition, but like don't confuse those things. And also it's ECMAScript, but it's actually to JavaScript because ECMAScript is like a trademark of Oracle. So yeah, we cannot use JavaScript. So we have 2 minutes remaining. We get to ES modules. And ES modules are the way. ES modules are actually great. Well, they are asynchronous. You can have local scope. You have code splitting, and they're so beautiful. And probably a lot of people that develop in JS actually use ES modules day by day. They come from 2015, so we're in the 8th year of actually adopting them. And well, not the whole world has already adopted them, so there is that. And the syntax is, that's the syntax, pretty much. Like, you can use any of that, and it's all valid syntax. But now we still have this problem. Like, it's supported in Node.js since the version 14. It's supported by Bun. It's supported by Dino. So many different technologies. Everybody agreed because it's part of the language. But now there's this pesky little thing on the right, the module name. So actually, the module name, the evaluation of the specifier is host specified. So pretty much that means that TypeScript and Babel they say, okay, you can omit the file extension, but then Node.js comes along and they say, no, you have to use the file extension actually. But then Dino comes and then say, oh yeah, you can use the URLs actually in that part. So do we have a standard? Yeah, kind of, maybe, in a way. We have a syntax for the standard, yeah, thank you for that. Well, what's coming next? Is there a new standard coming up? Well, there are actually some proposals. There are import attributes. There are JSON modules. They are coming to be used in the ES modules. They are on stage 3, so it's pretty late to the party. And I actually have a proposal. So if you want to do like a standard, maybe some of you want to create a standard. I have a suggestion. What if we took the standard syntax from import something from, and we put from in the middle, actually, then we have a module name, then we have an import. And actually, there is a good use case for that, because then you would have code completion after you completed the module name.
So at this point, there is already a proposal like this.
And that's how we ended up with standards. Thank you.
I didn't mean to be brutal or rude. Really, that was not my intention. We just need to try to keep these presentations tight, and please no heckling from the audience. Thank you very much. Usually, I've been instructed not to take any questions on lightning talks. However, if anyone does have any questions, that means question, not comment. We are welcome. We are open. Anyone have any questions? Okay, let me get you this. A question is not a comment, and vice versa.
How can we use AI to...
Oh, give me that back. Wait, to what? Was that a joke?
Why don't you use an AI to create a new standard? Thank you.
Well, I think this could be a topic for my next lightning talk. Thank you for that.
Good answer. Zachary, I knew I liked you. Okay, maybe one more question. Anyone? A question that doesn't involve the AI thing. Thank you very much, Zachary. It's been really, really great. Thank you very much. A lot of great information, interesting presentation, solutions.